Well, hey, and welcome to the Becoming Better podcast. My name's Nate, and I'm so glad you're here. Well, on today's episode, Jason, Josh, and I sit down and we discuss how much music we listened to this year. We also dive in and talk about this last year's podcast, and we just want to say thank you for listening. We seriously appreciate every single minute you spend with us, and if you haven't listened to yesterday's sermon, then I want you to stop here and give that a listen, as that will help make this conversation make more sense to you. Well, with all that said, we hope you enjoy this episode. Hey, how's it going, guys?
Happy Monday, everybody.
Hey, everybody. How you doing?
Good. So, Jason,
Yeah.
what music subscription do you use?
I don't have a music subscription. I still buy CDs. Well, not CDs. I still buy albums that download to my phone.
I love that. So I guess that would be Apple Music because that's what you use your iPhone for
Yeah,
music,
I
or
use
do
my
you have
Yes.
an iPod sitting somewhere?
I've got an iPod Shuffle that I strap to my bicep when
when you're working out.
I don't do that. Let me take that back. I do also have Amazon Music.
Okay, so you do use that.
Because my wife is an Amazon Prime member.
Yep.
There's a free version that you can get of the Amazon Music. But
Yeah.
I don't pay a monthly subscription for any music.
Yeah.
I don't do a Spotify, even a free version of Spotify.
Same. I don't do Spotify.
Yeah, you're in Amazon Music too.
Amazon Music, and I'm still old school, bro. I use Pandora.
Really?
Pandora.
Yep. I've got so many good stations, and I've hit enough likes and unlikes that it's perfect for me.
That has figured you out.
So and for some reason, I don't know if other ones go on there. They probably do. But they're on my TV. So I've talked about this in the morning. I just turn on.
Yeah.
I turn on Mav City Music,
Mm-hmm.
and it just is worship songs, and it's cleared out all the terrible ones that I don't like. It just knows what I enjoy.
Pandora has an app for your TV.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what's great is it still thinks I live in Louisiana. So I
you
get ads for car dealerships or Kia in Bossier City. And I'm like, I can't go there, but thank you.
Yeah.
So that's my favorite. That's why I can't give it up. And I'm not going to go change where I live.
Yeah.
I want the targeted ads to be still for Louisiana.
Yeah.
So these places aren't that smart. They
No.
haven't got everything about
Yeah.
me. They don't know that I've moved just yet.
Has there been an ad to where you're like, maybe I do need to call someone down there and
There's a law firm in Bossier that would be really great for my HOA.
yeah.
So yeah, Pandora. And I know it's like nobody uses Pandora anymore.
Brett is actually one. He was telling me the same thing. He's like, I got the algorithm all figured out that it plays exactly what I want. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. So I have a workout one I use. I use the Black Keys. And so there's enough on there that's really good. Every now and again, like Stapleton and Tyler Childers will come on there.
Yeah.
And some other like great. So that's one of my favorite stations on there. And every now they're always trying to get me to go to a new station. I'm like, nah, man, I got to do all this again.
Yep.
I've got like 5 stations. I'm not
Yeah.
changing it up.
Interesting. Okay.
What do
Good to know.
You're a Spotify guy, right?
No, Apple Music. So I was telling the younger guys on our team because they're all Spotify and they're like, you're Apple Music? And I'm like, yeah, because like Jason, I would get my CDs and put them on iTunes.
Right.
So Apple Music came out and I was like, okay, this makes sense. It still has all my music that I've curated
Right.
over the years. And now I can add, the subscription. So that's why. But this month, December, all the music subscriptions are doing their like listen back to 2025. So I looked at mine. Guess how many hours I put in this year?
And listening to music.
Listen to music.
Oh, Nate's always downstairs.
Yep.
Like just working on stuff.
Does your account, is that what gets used for our weekend experiences?
No.
Okay.
No, we have
All
our
right.
own account. We pay
Yeah.
for.
Okay. I just wanted to, because I'm like, that would
That would throw it out.
really add some hours.
Yeah. Which
So
I'm
I'm
gonna
guessing
guess-
I need to look at our Spotify because
7 hours a week.
7 hours a week. I was thinking at least 3 hours a day.
Oh, man,
I'm guessing he's in
I was
his,
going average.
Me too.
You think he's listening to, but it's like he's not listening to it probably at all on Sunday.
No.
So Sunday's out. He's not listening to any music on Sunday.
But I'm guessing he's in his office doing my slides, and he's got music going in his AirPods.
So let's go then 20 hours.
I'm at least 20 hours a week.
20 hours a week. That still feels like a lot, man.
No, I don't think it's a lot at all. I'm going 140 hours.
No, you need more than that. If you're 20 hours a week, you need more than that.
I'm sorry. Yes, you're right. 20 hours a week times 52 weeks. That's
1,040 hours.
yes.
So over 1,000 hours.
Over 1,000 hours.
Over 1,000.
Yeah.
This is the and that's
year.
what they give you. They give you totals.
Yeah. So January to December.
At least 1,000 hours.
I would say I don't think he cracked 1,000, but he's definitely over 750.
Yeah. 22,000. Yeah.
22,000?
22,553 minutes.
That seems excessive. How do you get to 22,000?
22,000 minutes?
Yeah. So,
not 22,000 hours, 22,000 minutes. All right, how many minutes? Let's divide that then. 22,000 divided by 60. I mean, we're talking quick math, 300 hours?
300? Yeah, 367. So, yeah.
So he didn't even make this 1,000.
No, I didn't even hit 1,000.
All right.
So, but that still seems like a lot.
So it's, what'd you say, 360? So it's just an
67,
hour a day.
Yeah.
You're doing an hour a day.
Yep.
All right.
So
I pegged you for more.
So did I. So,
I thought you go to the gym, your
but I started doing more podcasts and audiobooks.
I can't do podcasts at the gym. I can't be like a person just talking to me. I don't want anybody talking to me. So one place, man, I'm like trying not to talk to anybody. I don't want anybody talking to me when I'm in the gym. Don't look at me. I don't want a conversation. I just started not to put my headphones in and just don't even turn them on.
I use the noise canceling.
I just want to. I have a desire to get in and out and just be. I'm not here to chit chat, and I'm a chit chatter, but I don't want to chit chat. Not gym. So,
well, frankly, I'm disappointed, Nate. I
know. I got a lot of work to do.
Can you look up podcast hours? Can you look that up? Does it tell you podcast hours?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm sure if you.
So this all came. So by the way, did you have that conversation? So somebody came up to me or came into Jason and I and talked about her top 5 podcasts that she listens to over the year. They told her all that. Apparently, all these podcasts have been doing like thank you rap videos too, which we are well behind.
Yeah, we
have not done that. But we cracked like her top 5.
We cracked her top 5?
Her top 5 podcasts.
I wasn't a part of that conversation. I don't remember that.
I thought you were sitting there with us. Maybe it was David. Maybe it was me and David. But anyways, I was like, man, that's awesome. So it's like she listens to maybe Taylor Swift has a podcast, I think. I don't know. But it was like Taylor Swift and another person and Lecrae. She listens to Lecrae has a podcast. And Quad City made it. Yeah. So she was mad at us as not mad, but she teased us like, how come I didn't get a rap thank you video? And I was like, Nate! I just like, you weren't anywhere close. Yep. I was like, we've really dropped the ball. We really dropped the ball.
I think for some of our audience, we might be the only podcast they listen to. So
you think so?
I think for sure that's
I think there's a handful.
Yeah, probably. That's a good point. I'm really seasonal with podcasts. I will just be all in them for a while.
Yep.
Like that's all I'm listening to. And then I won't listen to any I probably haven't listened to any for a month. I went when did I go? I went to Lake Havasu for that football game end of October. I bet I didn't listen to any podcast for November. Then I traveled too, but I just listen to music. I just typically not a podcast guy.
Yeah. I will say out of those 367 hours, my top was Elevation Music.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
I think it just catches me on it depends what day it is.
Yeah.
My Apple Music is all over the map.
Yeah.
If you look at like, oh, here's your recommendations or suggestions, it's probably like, this dude is confused.
So, you know what I like about the Amazon?
Yeah.
Is they just have curated playlists.
Yes, they do. Your hits, your top hits, Josh.
Or I'll just do like the country heat or whatever the thing is. Just hit the playlist.
Yep. Because sometimes you just need something in the background.
Yeah.
So which makes sense. So I love that. Well, sweet. Let's jump in. Before we jump in, how many hours do you guys think you've listened to stuff?
That's what I'm trying to, like, if I can figure that out.
Yeah,
what does it say? Like activity? No.
Mine again. Okay, so this is me. This confession time. My bigger thing would just be doom scrolling. I have found that, like, well, if y'all know this, when I'm watching any ball game or anything, I mute every commercial. I hate commercials. So if I'm watching anything on TV, I will mute the commercials. I don't want to hear it. And if you're watching a football game, like every injury timeout, every replay timeout, and so while those commercials, I'll just pick up my phone and scroll some reels or whatever the thing is while I'm watching the game. And so if I had to add up those hours, that would probably shame me to the point of I don't think that would be helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got rid of I don't have any social media left that I'm consistently on. I have to like actually actively go to it. So I deleted Twitter off my phone or the app. So I can go in like to the
browser.
But it's not good.
No.
It's just not good experience. I was trying to go in there the other day to find something. And I couldn't find like the likes anymore. I was like, what are we doing? I'm out of this. I hadn't been on so long. I was just furious. And I've not been on Instagram really since we moved here, probably a couple months in. And then Facebook, we gave that up a while ago.
Yeah.
I just couldn't do it with all those people. So the doom scrolling is not as like, in fact, I just read news articles. It's probably not helpful. Like my Google curated news, you know, you talk about all over the map. It has me all over the place. Got some I got a lot of recipes that pop up, but then we got a lot of just random news stories, all over the place. So,
I only go to Twitter.
So that's where I used to only get my news from, and I loved it.
That's not great, but I only go to Twitter.
But I followed I tried to follow a wide range of voices.
Yeah,
I'm with you. Live sporting events on Twitter are amazing.
The only reason I go to Twitter is
I agree
to listen to BBN just hammer Kentucky. So BBN is Big Blue Nation. So for those of you who don't know, I'm a big Kentucky fan. It's where I grew up. Follow other sports, and they absolutely stink right now. Like the football just fired their coach because he was terrible, and their basketball right now is atrocious. And so I will go on there and just rage read people's comments on how bad Kentucky is and how they need to fire their coach.
So for me, I think it's because before I never, I hadn't lived in Arizona in a while when I was an Arizona basketball fan. So I only could get my news and information from those digital sources. But now I'm like in the States. So I like talk to people in our state about our team. Yeah. It's great. It's fantastic. So who we're number one right now today.
Kentucky, not number one.
Number one. No. So no more doom scrolling.
Yeah. Nice.
It was just and it's hard. At first it was like, man, how do I watch a sporting event without it? But you just give it up for a long enough time. It's super helpful. So
I'm sure your iPhone battery.
What do you do during commercials?
I changed the channel.
That is the good thing about college sports right now, because there's so many games on.
I just changed the channel, Jason.
That you can.
I don't. Or I just sit there and enjoy life. Like
you're YouTube TV, aren't you?
Yes.
You can multicast.
For sure. Yes. But there's usually one game that I care about, and the others are.
I don't know. The other day there was like 3 really good ones. Like, how do I watch all of these? And then I'm like, which one gets my attention?
Yeah.
That's the problem. I don't, so
people
they're really mad about us about sports. But that's a good question. No, I still have a crazy amount of hours on my phone.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that I've just replaced it with stupid games that I play. Like, they're meaningless and just dumb. I'm over here farming a village.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I'm growing crops, man.
Whoa,
yeah, bro.
I love this. Let's dig into this
We
a
have
little
just
more.
buried the lead. What are we even talking about right now?
Bro, I got a little farm, a little village, just building things. It just is mindless. It is mindless.
Yep.
It is like, oh, go do these tasks. And yeah, seriously. That's what I'm saying. It's not that I've gotten rid of less phone time.
Yeah.
I've just replaced it with a stupid game.
That is what needs to go on the volunteer thing for tonight. Who is growing the most heads of lettuce on Farmville?
We don't grow lettuce.
So the funny thing
Stop
is,
it. There's no lettuce. There's no lettuce. It's not.
Heavens.
so the funny thing is, there's another game like that on the Switch that Freddie has been into. So you might want to talk to him
Oh
about
my
his
heavens.
farm.
I had no idea.
Oh, yeah. Getting goods and services. Yeah. That's right, baby. Again, it is so mindless.
Yeah.
It's dumb. And I recognize it's stupid.
Yep.
It is absolutely just ridiculous that I get on like, oh yeah, let's check it. Oh, I gotta, plant new crops.
Yep.
Yep.
This is not happening. I cannot believe this.
The best part is there are so many older ladies at doctor's appointments right now that are playing the same game that you are,
we're in.
Josh.
100%. Because I like the Candy Crush. I never got into any of that.
Yeah.
Like the Candy Crush and like that. So, yeah. Just jamming away. But I think you were supposed to get like extra point. I don't know if you're connected to like Facebook and all that. But I'm not connected to any of that. So I don't play like via that way. Just the app, bro.
Yep. So 2 years ago, I went to Thanksgiving down in Phoenix and my mom was cooking and she stopped and she's like, oh, I got to get my coins. And she opens up her phone and opens up Candy Crush. And she's like level 800. And I'm like, Mom, you got to stop. You got to stop, Mom. Once that number gets to over 100, you've played this game way too much. But she had to collect her coins. So
Josh is over here growing swine.
No, you feed them. Feed them, bro. You get bacon. You get bacon from them, bro.
Yeah.
I can make my jalapeno poppers. No, bro. What are you talking about?
Okay, we got to turn this around. Our people have already
just turned off.
They are,
or they just sent me a bunch of friend requests.
Yes, you're getting
like, Josh, play with me.
Yep.
Let's be in the same group together.
I'll send you some crops.
Oh, I'll share. I got some lives with you. Yeah, bro. Don't be.
Gosh.
Don't you be hating.
Jason's throwing everything around in this studio right now. He's losing it.
I've already lost it. I cannot believe this is happening. I have no idea. Nana's gonna be on there with you.
Yeah.
Are you and Nana gonna be playing Farmville?
Oh, I hurt my stomach.
That's amazing. All right.
Well, she listens to the podcast, so she's for sure gonna be.
100%. It's not Farmville. It's called Townsville or something.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the app's called, honestly.
We're gonna have to start up a Quad City, Townsville.
Let's go. I'm in, dude. Nate, you be building stuff. It's like Sims.
yeah.
People still play the Sims games. Like, keep on. I'm gonna do Roller Coaster Tycoon or Typhoon. I'm building my amusement park.
Yep. So
I cannot believe that. I'm in utter shock.
Dumbfounded. Our key is dumbfounded.
yeah. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
No, so for me and so Jason at our last staff retreat or staff meeting asked us what we do for fun.
Yeah.
And everybody, so I'm the only one without like a kid, but everybody else is like hanging out with my kid,
I didn't
playing catch. Josh said grilling, and Jason's like, Nate, what do you like to do for fun? And I was like, I'm gonna say it. I was like, I like playing games. And Jason came up while we're eating lunch. He's like, what kind of games do you like to play? I'm like, oh, it's so nerdy. Like I love playing the strategy.
Yeah.
Like it's strategy F1. So I like run my own F1 team. I don't race it, but I like call the shots, pick my drivers. And I was like, there's no way this is fun for anybody else, but I love doing it. So
it's like going season mode in GM mode in NBA 2K.
Yeah. Or Madden. So that's what I love. So
love it, bro.
I was like, I'm not going to play this with it.
We could next time on Stab Me, we'll like bust out the Settlers of Catan. And just crazy, bro.
Yes. David would go crazy.
Oh, I'm out. I'm so out.
A little Phase 10. Maybe we'll just play some
I'll
Phase
listen
10.
to the Taylor Swift podcast.
You'd rather do that than Catan? All right.
Oh.
Let's jump in.
I'm so sorry. For everybody who has made it this far,
They love
they
this.
love
We went
this, yeah.
off the rails.
They
I
love
apologize.
it.
Yeah.
You're laughing, but they love it.
Yep. So let's jump in. This last Sunday, we're in week 2 of our Luke series. We're in chapter 1, verses 5 through 25. And Jason, I enjoyed it. I thought it was awesome kind of hearing some of the background stories.
I'm just waiting for the week where Nate comes in and says, you know what, this was kind of a B minus effort this
It's going to be those weeks. It's going to be that. I'm not going to say it because the next time I was going to say it's going to be the week that I'm not like sitting in this room with you guys, but I'm going to be on vacation and people are going to be like, oh, Nate didn't like this week. So no, I thought it was great and just fun reading into Luke. I've been coming every morning for the Advent prayer, which has been really cool.
Yeah.
Showing up early.
It has been great.
And just praying through it. I've also just been reading through Luke.
Yeah.
Kind of in the morning. So it's been awesome. Just a great time to like just pray for our community and just love that we've been so intentional with also just praying for other churches in our area, which I know I've heard a lot of people say like that they've enjoyed that and thought it was cool that we've added like the Heights and all the other churches into that, like intentionally praying for them. So I've just been enjoying that and then also just like slowing down enough to get into Luke. So it was cool reading about John and hearing his parents and just kind of seeing that story being told out and just knowing that everybody kind of ties that in and, you know, they would have known who John was when this letter was written. So just kind of seeing some of the backstory has been really cool for me. So Josh, what stuck out to you?
What stuck out to me? Really, honestly, so more on a personal level. So, and I told Jason this, but I'll share with everybody. So Silas has been coming, and he's pretty cool. He takes notes and tries to track along. You know, if Jason underlined something in the Bible, Silas trying to underline it. Sunday, though, like he was tickled. Like he was like audibly laughing, like very much kind of how I do too. So it was really funny, like looking over, watching myself as an 8-year-old kid, you know, that he was like arms crossed, just like a grown up chuckling at Jason's jokes. And part of me, I was like, does he even get them?
Yeah.
Like, you know, these are, you know, but anyways, that honestly made my day. Like Dad and I just kind of looked over and just smiled and just took it in for a minute, right? You know,
it was good for my ego. I saw him. He was sitting right on the front row.
Yeah, we're in the front row.
My right hand.
Yeah,
it was great.
Like legs kind of sitting very similar to how I would sit.
Yeah,
and so but laughing, and it was so. Corey texted me. He was sitting next to Corey Chatham, and Corey was like, "Dude, he's been doing this the whole time. He's like just been giggling the whole time." And so then I'm trying to watch him. So that was really like a highlight of my Sunday morning experience is like getting to see, you know, my kids like enjoy the word. Like, did they want to go to church? It's funny. So Judah does not, he's, you know, our oldest is kind of to the point now, he doesn't want to sit with us necessarily, kind of wants to sit by himself. But apparently paid attention. We had, you know, we always have eyes on him. And then Gideon is really funny. He's like, nah. Like he would just want to come in there for worship. That's more his heart. And he loves that. So I was just like, no, I want to go to church. And so he sits in there, like I said, and he's just studiously like kind of looking and reading. And so it is an enjoyable thing for them to be able to kind of walk through. It's funny when I can't remember which one of them, how long are we going to be in Luke? And I was like,
a minute.
A while.
It's going to be a minute.
It's going to be a while. Like, because they were like salty. One of them, I think it was like, hey man, we're done with the Ephesus series? Like, when did that end? I was like, did you not hear the ending? Hey, this is the last week. You know, they're so funny. Like, but they've been locked in and engaged. And even they're like, where are we going next? I was like, oh, we're going to Luke. How long is it going to be?
You're going to be in high school. Judah's going to be in high school.
Maybe.
No, yeah, for sure. No, that's not a lie. That is very true. Middle schoolers and boy. Ooh, boy. So, but yes, overall though, the time being able to spend in it. And again, this is the danger of always doing these first couple chapters in Luke. Is this is what everybody does? It's so, I know like the pressure, right, of like trying to teach something that everybody's heard a billion times is always, interesting. But I was talking to a guy this morning at prayer. It's like he literally just recapped the sermon for me. just saying like, oh, and then this, and then they couldn't remember it's great. He's like, I can't remember their names, but this happened, and then this happened. Oh, pastor pointed this out to us. And so like just how like there were a lot of easy handles, I think, with this week to kind of grab hold to. So it was super helpful.
Yeah. Awesome. And then Jason, if we would have given you a little more time, is there anything else you would have added to this message?
Yep. I know, because there's things didn't make it in there, y'all.
There were
some cuts.
There were some cuts this week. And so there was a few things I brought up at our Wednesday meeting that, the hope was they were going to make it in. And then you start writing and it just didn't make the cut. And so, so there was a couple. I would just say, again, it's been so encouraging just how many people have come up over the last couple of weeks and have really appreciated the fact that they have a new filter for the Gospel of Luke, just because they now see it through the lens of this Gentile author talking to Gentile people. All of a sudden, it just helps them to see the whole thing differently now that they know the audience. And so that's just been really encouraging to hear that, how it's put a new spin on it. And so I'm just grateful for everybody who's come up and shared that little nugget for me. And, you talk about this text that people have heard over and over and over, and that'll get more pronounced as we go through the next two chapters. Right. Chapter 2 and 3 really are I guess mostly just chapter 2 is really the one that everybody just knows, chapter 2. And so that will get more pronounced, but I did have a few people who said, listen, I've been studying this and read it 100 times and they really appreciated the fact that they're seeing new things as we're walking through it. So that, again, that's always encouraging. So there were two things I guess 3 things that I wrote down, just kind of in my initial notes as I was studying for this that didn't make the sermon. And the first one was, I just love how the Spirit's job, as the Spirit works all throughout the New Testament, the Spirit's job is always to shine a spotlight on Jesus. The Spirit always points to Jesus. And again, we even get to see that in this text as the Spirit fills John so that John can point to Jesus. Like the Spirit always comes and Jesus always follows. Like wherever you find the Spirit, you're gonna find Jesus. And again, we just get to see that pattern even in the midst of this text. The Spirit fills John from the beginning so that John can pave the way for the coming of Jesus. So for those of us who are Spirit-filled, the Spirit desires that us being Spirit-filled helps us to point to Jesus. Like that's what he does. And again, you're going to see that as we go through when I think about the book of Acts, the apostles have the Spirit fall on them at Pentecost. And what did they immediately do? Preach Jesus. And you see this all throughout the early church. The Spirit comes and Jesus is proclaimed. The Spirit comes and Jesus is proclaimed. And we see that even in the birth narrative. The Spirit comes so that a road is paved for Jesus. So that would be one thing I would have spent a moment on had we had an extra moment. The Spirit of the Spirit filling John from birth. One of the other things that I had written, I actually wrote this in, and it was a Saturday night cut, was I wrote a little section in my sermon just to emphasize, when we talk about the Spirit filled John before he was born. Like I look at a text like that, and it gave me a moment to say, this is why, as believers, we believe that life begins at conception. Like this is one of the texts that we can point to as believers and say, life begins at conception. John had a name, and he had personhood, and he had identity, and he had mission and purpose even before he was born. And he was filled with the Spirit. John was filled with, not Elizabeth. Elizabeth was not filled with the Spirit John was. Even though John was in Elizabeth's body, Elizabeth later on has the Spirit come upon her. We're actually going to see that this week. Mary's going to make a visit to her relative Elizabeth, and the Spirit will come on Elizabeth. But long before the Spirit comes on Elizabeth, the Spirit is already in John, who is inside of Elizabeth. So there's this dynamic of understanding that shows us that personhood existed, identity and mission existed inside the womb. This is the Imago Dei. This is why we believe that life begins at conception. This is why we would say abortion is never, ever, never an option for those who are in Christ. Like, it's just not a biblical option. We have to reject that worldview that would separate personhood and identity from the moment of conception, that John had a mission and a vision and a purpose for his life long before he was born, and that personhood matters. He was filled with the Spirit in the womb. And so I would have loved to have taken a moment and shared that out loud too. And again, I had actually written that in, but I knew it was going to be pushing up against time. And so that was one of the things I pulled out.
Yeah, I would just clarify, just in case, because I heard a statement you said, for those in Christ, abortion is never an option. Abortion is never an option for anybody, is what Jason is saying, especially for those of us who claim to be believers.
That's right.
Our worldviews cannot coexist.
That's right.
But we would say that it should never be an option for anybody. So I don't want Jason getting hate mail here saying like, oh, non-believers can choose abortion. Yeah. No, we would absolutely say, no, we don't want that either. But what we are saying is, it is really... again, it's just incongruent with your faith if you choose to say that ever is an option, right? So.
Yep. And I'm trying to remember what the last one that I had was.
The Spirit.
Oh yeah. As we go through this text, I was just thinking about how it talks in this about how John is filled with the Spirit, with the power of the Spirit. I'm trying to look and see exactly what verse reminds us of that. It talks about being having the joy and delight, for he will never take away. He will bring back many people, and he will go before the Lord in the spirit and the power of Elijah to turn the hearts of the parents to the children and the disobedient to the wisdom of the righteous. So he has the power of the Spirit, and it's the same power of the Spirit that filled Elijah. But one of the things that I was just reminded of as I was studying, we often think about the power of the Spirit, and we think about the miraculous gifts of the Spirit. And so when we talk about the miraculous gifts, we're talking about things like miracles and speaking in tongues and healings and
those are the big ones.
Yeah. Words of what's the prophetic words? Prophecy.
Mm-hmm.
So we have these gifts that we think of when we think of the power of the Spirit. And I was just reminded that John in his ministry didn't practice any of those. Like, he didn't have words of knowledge. He had these moments where there goes the Lamb of God, but he recognized that in the womb. He knew where the Lamb of God was. And so he didn't speak in tongues. He didn't do any miracles that we are aware of. He was filled with the Spirit from inside the womb with the power of Elijah, the same power that Elijah, but he did not do any miraculous gifts. He didn't have any he didn't bring anybody to life. He didn't have the ability to let himself out of prison. He didn't cast spells on anybody. He didn't do any, but he still was filled with the Spirit. And so I just want to remind us that the power of the Spirit doesn't have to be manifest in the miraculous. Now, I'm not saying that those gifts don't exist. I think they do. I'm not a cessationalist. I think they do exist. I think those can be gifts of the Spirit that are alive for the people of God today. I do believe that. But there is a segment of Christianity that says that is the only way that the Spirit manifests his power. And I just want to reject that. The way that John manifested the Spirit of the power of the Spirit was to bring hearts back to Jesus, to preach repentance. And he preached that with the power of the Spirit, that it impacted people's life, and they turned from their sin and they repented and they came to Jesus. Like, that is the power of the Spirit, as much as speaking in tongues is the power of the Spirit. And if I'm going to pick one or the other, I would say with John, choose the first one, not the second one.
Yeah.
Like, that's what Paul says. Like, I would rather speak one intelligible word than 1,000 in tongues. Like, the goal at the end of the day is to see people come to Jesus. That was what the Spirit wanted everyone to do. And so I just want to say that out loud for those of you who wonder, do I have the Spirit in me? And I think there is a question. I had that conversation with two people yesterday. Do I have the Spirit in me? I don't, excuse me, I don't feel like I have the Spirit in me. Hey, the power of the Spirit is not just speaking in tongues, and it's not just having a prayer language. It's not necessarily words of prophecy. It is the Spirit moving to have a conversation with somebody that actually turns their hearts back to the Lord. That's as much the power of the Spirit as anything else. And so I just want to remind our people that the Spirit doesn't have to have this kind of miraculous moment to be effective in your life.
Yeah.
When you're helping somebody, or even in your own life, when you're coming to a place of repentance and transformation is happening, that happens by the power of the Spirit. And John had the Spirit from the beginning without the miraculous, and he had the Spirit and power of Elijah. So take that for what it's worth. That would have been another little tangent that this text took me on that I didn't have time to get to.
Is there anything significant to why the angel said that John would not take wine or fermented drinks?
Yeah, that
seems kind of weird.
Yeah, there's some questions around that. And yeah, there is a thing called a Nazirite vow. And there are some who think that John was a Nazirite. And that was part of the Nazirite vow, that you did not take wine or fermented drink. And it was to truly set yourself apart as someone who is spiritual. And some people would do it for a season. We think Paul probably took a Nazirite vow when he went to the temple and he shaved his head, if you remember that moment in his story. And that would have been part of a Nazirite vow. But the hair piece is a part of a Nazirite vow, is you didn't cut your hair. And so that's why Paul shaved it, so he didn't have to cut it. So he shaved his head, took the vow. But because it doesn't mention anything about that he didn't drink fermented drink or cut his hair, that would have made it more indicative of someone who was a Nazirite.
Okay.
And again, most people do it for a season. It would have been odd to have done it for his whole life. And some people even tie Samson to it, that he was a Nazirite, and that's why Delilah cut his hair and took away his power, because he broke the vow of. And so there's some of that in there. But the reality is we just don't know enough to be able to declare that. I'm not convinced that he was a Nazirite because of nothing mentioning about his hair.
Yeah.
I think the no fermented drink is maybe, and again, this is just off the cuff. I don't have any hard data for this, but I think it comes back to even what Paul says when he says, "Do not get drunk on wine, but be filled with the Spirit." Like, Paul connects the dots on those two things, and I think because John was filled with the Spirit, he was going to stay away from the spirits.
Yeah.
And so I think those two are indicative, and that it was just an outward way that people could identify he's been set apart for a separate purpose.
Yeah.
So I think there's nothing definitive that we can answer.
Yeah.
Just some conjecture.
Yeah. Okay. Is there any other, so I'd love the tie-in that you did with the lots. And so 365 days in a year. That group would go to the temple for a week, right?
2 weeks out of the year.
2 weeks out of the year.
Yeah.
So,
I actually did this math this morning as I was driving in.
perfect.
Yeah. What were the odds of Zechariah actually getting called into the temple?
I don't know.
That was the question I was thinking of.
100%.
Well,
Sorry.
that's right. You're right. But if you're just doing the math, right? You were going right where I was going, Nate.
Yeah.
So there were 900 priests in each division, according to Josephus. 900 in each division, and that division would go to the temple twice a year for a week. And so you have 900 priests going there twice a year, which means they get to go into the temple. Somebody from that division goes into the temple twice a day. So you got 2 weeks, 14 days, 28 guys, 28 a year get this honor out of 900. And so if you go for 10 years, only 280 guys get this opportunity. And you have priests that are retiring all the time and new guys coming in all the time. And so it's a pretty low probability that somebody's going to actually get this opportunity. Again, most priests never got to go do this. And so to see Zechariah in there in this moment, the answer is absolutely 100% chance that he was going to go in there because God determined it. It wasn't by chance. It was by God.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's kind of mind blowing when you start thinking about that. So would they, I don't know if you know this, but would they still go? So Zechariah gets his name pulled. Does he still go the next time that group is called out, just not into the temple? Right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, okay. So when we say temple, there's two things we have to think about. And again, for those of you who've
It's about
been-
3% chance if anybody was wondering.
Yeah.
Some of you are probably doing the math.
Yeah.
Let me do it for you. It's 3%. 3% chance he's going to make
That's
it.
crazy.
3%.
For those of you who've ever been to Israel, you understand there's a temple complex.
Mhm.
Like it is a whole. If you just think about the Temple Mount, you could fit, and again, you could probably chat GPT this, that
You did it right.
that you got one time, and I messed up the other. I don't know which one is right. You could Google this up. There's you could fit 30 football fields on the Temple Mount. It is huge. Again, I don't think most people realize it's something like 30, I don't know, 23, 30, something huge that you can fit on the Temple Mount. And so these 900 priests would go on the Temple Mount. Only one gets to go in the Holy of Holies. There's a lot of other work to be done around the temple.
Priestly duties.
That's priestly duties. They're doing sacrifices. They're doing stuff outside all the time. But the going into the Holy of Holies, that's just one little job of the priest. But the Temple Mount complex is gigantic. It is gigantic. Did you figure it out there, Nate?
Yeah, you can get roughly 32 to 34 fields.
34 football fields on the Temple Mount. And so you just got to realize how big this Temple Mount is. Now, the temple, the Holy of Holies is not near that big, obviously. And the temple proper wasn't that big, but the Temple Mount where they're serving as people are coming up and doing all sorts of different types of washings and washing, all sorts of stuff, offering sacrifices, bringing their temple offerings. There's all sorts of stuff.
I had a baby. I got to go pay the thing. I check in, kind of deal. I got to.
Lots of other stuff. Lots of other stuff. And it's huge. It's just huge. And so the Muslims today are in charge of the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. It is the Dome of the Rock. So there's no temple there anymore. It's the Dome of the Rock. It's the second most holy place in all of Islam behind Mecca. I almost said Medina. Mecca. It's the second most holy ground. And so when they do their high holy days for Ramadan and stuff, they will get over 1 million people on top of the Temple Mount. I mean, you could fit that many people up there.
Crazy.
It is, it is nuts. practices.
Well, but it makes sense that the Jewish people or the Israelites would have that because of all the, you know, the 3 festivals in the New Testament or in the Old Testament, they were required to go and do, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Passover.
Festival of the Booths and then festival of feast. Yeah. So again, the whole nation is supposed to show up. So it was not a little ground that, and again, when you even think through, right, when they did the tabernacle, how big that is, when you start doing like all of those in the way in which it's set up, like that was supposed to represent. So it is just huge in just your mind. Like, but again, to try to envision it when you're just reading about it, you're like, oh,
33 football fields.
Because we just think church, like, we went into this church,
and especially with like the Bibles in the back will have like some
the graphics,
the pictures of it, and it's like, oh, that cute little place. Yeah, but 30.
But even when you're reading like Jesus's story around like going and cleansing, like all these things, right? The outside and the inners, there's just all these like, these places.
And again, it's a complex. It's where the Pharisees had a room in the Temple Mount where you would go and stand before the Pharisees or the Sadducees. All of that happened there at the Temple Mount complex. So, and there's tons of amazing. If you go to the Southern Steps, one of the coolest things that you'll see is what they call mikvahs. They're baptistries. It was where you would go and dip and do your washing before you went up into the Temple Mount. And so, one of the arguments that I heard for years about, well, when they talk about Pentecost and 3,000 people being baptized, they didn't have enough water to get baptized that many people. Oh, no. Just go to the Southern Steps. There's dozens of mikvahs. Like they were built for this. They were built to do literal baptisms. You just did it yourself. Right. And so now all of a sudden, when Jesus comes, they're baptizing people in these mikvahs, like right there at the Southern Steps. Like, of course they could do 3,000 baptisms in a day.
Yep. So cool.
Anyway.
All righty.
Going there does help. It does. It does help paint the picture.
Yeah. 2026?
There we are talking about it.
All right.
We are talking because we're going to be in Luke for a while. It'd be cool for people to see. And
all right, let's jump into questions. We have one today, and it's from Danielle, and she says in Luke 24, it talks about Elizabeth hid herself for 5 months after conceiving. Was this her way of being humble and not boasting about receiving the child from God? So
Danielle, that is an amazing thing that you came to that conclusion, because that's what the commentators come to. We don't know. The answer is we don't know. We don't know why she did this, but most commentators, that's the conclusion they come to. So you could write a commentary on this. You got to figure it out. Like as much as anybody else knows, it was a picture that she did not want to seem boastful, and she was just being a humble woman. And until she began to show, which I think for a lot of women, if you're walking around in a robe all the time, I think if you're wearing yoga pants all the time, you might be able to see a little sooner. But if you're walking around in a big robe, you don't see it. And so she did not make a big deal out of it until she couldn't deny it. It's kind of the idea. There was a humility there.
Yeah. Sweet. Well, is there anything else you'd like to add before we end?
No, I'm just excited. I love this series, and hopefully you guys do too. I did notice a lot of our notebooks got taken.
I did.
Yeah. So
a lot of note takers.
Love it. Bring your notebooks
spiral,
back.
But other than that.
Okay. Do we need
you did take, there were some people who are pretty upset that we didn't give them the other option. Last time for Ephesus, we gave them the 2 options. You could get spiral or you could get the non-spiral.
Listen, the only people arguing about the not wanting the spiral are the lefties.
That's not true, though. When you flip it to the other side around the back, right-handed people are impacted by it because the spirals now are on the right side. Some people just don't like how the spirals look. I don't want the spiral notebook, Jason.
Okay.
I'm not a notebook guy though.
Yeah,
so I'm
just write your notes in your Bible. The ones
I do. I do. Yeah. Like again, man, when I open, Revelation, it's like, oh man, look at all this. Revelation's got all these things in there.
Yep.
And so Luke, I'm gonna run out of room is my hope.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out how do I get them all in there, or I just remember it. It's
you do have a better memory than most of us.
But like I said last week, I sat by that probably young adult and a young adult girl. And I was like, man, those are like fancy notes. I can't even make myself want to do that. My brain, I don't think can operate in that way. And my wife too, she's taking copious amounts of notes.
Yeah.
It's just so many. Like just a lot of notes. Cause I'm always like, well, what do you write? What do you pick for those? You know what I mean? Like as note takers, I'm like, how do you, cause it's not like, we're not the traditional
3 points,
3 point sermon.
Yeah.
Hey, fill in the blank guys.
Nope.
That's not how, which is so grateful we're not. But what is the, like, and I'm listening to you for 35 minutes. What is the
But you
thing?
listen to it like 3 times and then you also
And I
in some of
read
the
it.
meetings. Yeah.
By the time honestly, by the time I've read it, it's usually that's the best way for my brain to, but anyways, yeah, you're right. So, but again, I just have tried to think through like, what is the thing that they pick out as the importance? I'm always just intrigued by it. I'm intrigued.
The ones that get me are the ones with the multiple pens and the different sticky notes.
What?
Those people are on a different level.
I love it.
So,
people taking notes. So if you didn't get your notebook, we still have options.
Yeah.
And then once we run out, these will be just what we use all the time. So no matter what series we're in, our hope is just to have, notebooks that you can grab and pick up. Because what we found is,
Well, then why didn't we get some without the spiral band? You have 2 options.
I don't even want to go here. I don't even want to go here.
They're going to be forever.
Jason's got a big stick in his hand, just stirring that pot.
Stirring that pot.
Yep.
But the hope is that people can just use them.
Yeah.
And whether we're in Luke or we're in wherever's next.
Yeah.
That, I've just got my notes for sermons. Because again, some people do love taking notes to have as an option. And we get it. I know people do it for life groups.
Yeah.
And all the hundreds of different reasons why folks do it. And so, some people still do it as a digital. One of these days, I'm going to get us to figure out a great digital option to figure out how to keep notes. And so, not just the notes on your phone.
Yeah.
Like even that, I'm sure the people who are note takers is probably real organized.
Yeah.
I've got like half notes. I've got
I got shopping lists.
I've got sermon ideas. Like randomly, I'm driving. I'm like, real quick, I need to say this, or I'm going to forget it.
Yep.
So, but yes, they did take them. They took our bookmarks just to help people go, this is where we're going.
Yeah.
You can kind of see how Luke is broken out, which I bet people even were like, I didn't realize that's how Luke wrote his narrative.
Yeah.
That he kind of wrote it, systematically to look at the life of Jesus. Really, the ministry of Jesus is where he spends obviously the most amount of time. But it was really cool.
Awesome. Well, we hope you guys have a good week, and we'll see you guys Sunday.